Welcome to Distances from the Sun. Today we are going to be looking at how far each planet is from the Sun. To do that, we are going to use scale models. A scale model is a representation or copy of an object that is larger or smaller than the actual size of the object being represented. Since we know space is using huge distances, when we use a scale model, that means we've made them smaller in the same exact way for each one. Let's go ahead and see what materials we need to do this lab. All right, so I have some labels here. I can see I have the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, all written on a piece of paper, and then each paper is taped onto a stake that we can use to mark the locations of each planet from the Sun. And then the strings there on the right, those are actually going to be used for the scale model. Those have all been made smaller, the distances from the Sun, in the same exact way. So the same exact amount for each one of them. So we're going to get an accurate scale version model of how far each planet is from the Sun. What did you say? Okay, fine. I'll let us include Pluto too. But remember, Pluto's a dwarf planet. All right, we're going to go outside for this lab, and I've got some helpers here. There is the Sun. I'm going to put that in the ground, and then the Sun is going to be our starting point for every planet. We're going to see how far every planet is from the Sun. First up, we've got the inner planets. Those are those first 4 planets, and our closest one to the Sun is Mercury. So we're going to go ahead. I have that string there. That's going to show us the distance from that Sun there. And my friend Scarlett's helping me put that in the ground. So we're going to mark how far Mercury is from the Sun. Now we're ready for our second planet from the Sun, which is Venus. We've got Venus, and we're going to see how far that is from the Sun using our scale model with the string. So our starting point is always the Sun, and we're going to use that to help us find how far Venus is from the Sun. All right, there it is. We've got the Sun, Mercury, and Venus. They don't look that far apart, but in real life, Mercury is 35 million miles away from the Sun, and Venus, it's about 67 million miles away from the Sun. So even though they look really close in this model, in reality, they're really far away. We're going to go ahead and check out our third planet from the Sun. That is Earth. Earth is located 93 million miles from the Sun. Derek and I are working together to mark Earth in our scale model of the distances of the planets from the Sun. All right, up next we have Mars. Mars is 142 million miles from the Sun. So as we're marking this in our scale model, it's really 142 million miles away, even though those first 4 planets don't look that far from the Sun. Looks like my friend Finn is getting that marked in so we can check out our inner planets. So here is what our model looks like with just our inner planets. They look really close to the Sun, even though we're talking about millions of miles away in space. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and check out the outer planets. We're going to see how far they are from the Sun, not including the asteroid belt that comes between the inner and outer planets. So we're going to go ahead to our 5th planet, which is Jupiter. Mr. Allforce is going to go ahead and take Jupiter and mark it so we can see its distance from the Sun. In real life, Jupiter is 484 million miles from the Sun, so that's pretty far. Right, next up we've got Saturn. Liam is helping us with Saturn. Saturn is 889 million miles from the Sun. So I can see those outer planets are getting pretty far out there from the inner planets. They're all getting farther from the Sun. Our seventh planet from the sun is Uranus. Callan is going to go ahead and mark Uranus in our model. In real life, Uranus is 1.79 billion miles from the sun. I get to mark the last outer planet, which is Neptune. So Neptune is 2.8 billion miles from the sun. All right, you asked for it. We're going to go ahead and look at our dwarf planet Pluto. This used to be a planet when I was a kid, but it's considered a dwarf planet now. And Pluto is 3.67 billion miles from the sun. Pluto's even so far in this model, I can barely see Liam out there marking Pluto. That's how far away it is in our model, let alone in real life, where it's billions of miles away from the sun. All right, here it is. It's all of our planets and their scale distances from the sun. So this can help you visualize how far away all of these planets are in real life. When I see this model, I'm amazed that people were able to figure out our solar system in real life in order to create models like this. I mean, when I go and clean it up, look how far away I go. All right, that's all for me. I'd like to thank my crew. I hope you take care.
Peace.